Really? Really? They weren't before May the 1st, were they? I mean, Keir Starmer has spent his whole career campaigning for free movement of people, wholly unconcerned about this subject, so much so that their massive parliamentary majority was gained without immigration even being one of their five main priorities. Now, of course, he knows that amongst the great British public, this issue rates even higher than the health service, and he's just basically playing catch-up with reform.
What do you think when you heard Sir Keir Starmer talk about we risk becoming a nation of strangers, these forces tearing us apart? This is language you wouldn't have heard the PM say, I think, before the elections.
You wouldn't have heard the PM say it at any point in his life. This is not the conversation of the North London dinner party set, believe you me. No, I mean, many of the things he said are the same things I've been saying for over 20 years. And that's Starmer's problem. Insincerity. What does this man actually believe in other than trying to keep power for its own sake?
He says he means, to be fair, he says he means it. I believe it. I'm saying it. I believe it. He's saying it. He did say 5 times he wants to take back control. That was your rival campaign's slogan from 2016.
No, I was using take back control in 2004. Yeah. Okay. So, no, I mean, look, this is wholly insincere at every level. And whatever happens, there are still massive loopholes here for overseas students. And net migration is still going to run under this Labour government at many hundreds of thousands a year. And all of this on the same day when we see hundreds of people, young men, crossing the English Channel. I would ask the Prime Minister, how confident is he there are no Iranian terrorists on those boats this morning? And he was asked a question. One of the journalists asked him about the ECHR. He's utterly committed to staying part of it. Indeed, his second speech as Prime Minister in the House of Commons was his love of the ECHR. Nothing is going to change. And I think today, we'll look back on today a little bit like Rishi Sunak's pledges. Stop the boats. Remember that? Rishi, stop the boats. He didn't stop the boats. It cost the Conservatives very, very dearly in the general election. So to return to your original question, am I worried? I'm afraid not. If he was to succeed with all of this, I'd praise him to the heavens, but he's not.
Is it enough? They'll cut visas by 100,000 a year. I pushed Vet Cooper moments ago. Maybe 500,000 net migration by then the Parliament. She wouldn't go there. We want to cut it by substantially, she says. Your plan is one in, one out, isn't it? How will that work?
Yeah. Well, just by limiting the numbers that can come in, by stopping foreign dependents coming, by making sure that anybody that comes on a work visa leaves at the end of the period of time for that visa. Doing actually what most normal countries do all over the world.
If you were Prime Minister, you'd have the NHS saying we need more care workers. You'd have the farmers saying we need more people to pick the vegetables, and they can't rot in the fields because of your determination not to have any more migrants.
The vegetables did not rot in the fields if you go back before the year 2000. And I'm sorry, but this endless demand for cheap foreign labour is unacceptable at every level. And remember, all this talk about workers, most people that come don't even work, which is why it's making us poorer.
ECHR, he said clearly we are not going to pull out of the ECHR. That's the European Convention on Human Rights. That's your policy. The Tories are going towards that policy, aren't they? He says that to get these bilateral deals with France and Germany, you must stay within the confines of the ECHR. Is he right?
I suspect the bilateral deals could mean even more people coming into Britain, not less. And how ironic that he's giving this statement today. He's boasting about trade deals with India, with America, all Brexit freedoms, and next week he's off to Brussels to potentially sign us up to free movement for the under-30s across the whole of Europe. This sums up this Prime Minister. He is literally all over the place. And what I found going around the country, particularly in Labour areas, people said, we don't know who he is. We don't know what he stands for. We prefer Jeremy Corbyn. At least we knew what he believed in.
In a sense, you're driving a policy, or do you feel you are? I mean, certainly, the language certainly is there. I mean, they've been working on this plans for months and months and months, where they have agreed, they said they would do in the election, to cut net migration. But the language is changing, isn't it?
We are controlling the narrative. In terms of the rhetoric, it's follow my leader. They're following reform on all of this, but do they have the will to drive any of this through? I very much doubt it.